Welcome to the deep dive. We get you informed fast. Today, we're looking at something often missed: forgotten Jewish communities.
Mm.
When we think Jewish diaspora, maybe Ashkenazi or Sephardic comes to mind first, but, well, the story's much bigger.
Exactly. And forgotten,
Yeah.
it means different things, right? Sometimes stories just weren't told widely, or maybe communities were super isolated, or their identity kind of faded over time, assimilation, other pressures. It's quite a range.
Right. So our mission here is to explore some of these unique paths, their practices, how they integrated or didn't, and, what factors actually led to them sticking around or sometimes, sadly, disappearing. Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe start with the Kaifeng Jews in China,
Wow.
arrived ages ago, probably Silk Road traders. And what's wild is how much they blended in. We're talking men with Chinese pigtails, their synagogue built, Chinese style, even things like food offerings for ancestors. It sounds like total acceptance almost.
Uh-huh. And that's the fascinating part, the paradox. They did thrive for centuries. No real record of anti-Semitism there. But that deep integration, lots of intermarriage, it actually turned out to be, well, fatal for keeping a distinct Jewish identity separate. Especially after, I think it's 1642, a huge flood destroyed their synagogue, their records.
Wow.
And then their last rabbi died around 1810. So ties to, formal Jewish practice pretty much severed. They just gradually faded into the surrounding culture.
That's incredible. So acceptance wasn't necessarily the key to survival. It could be the opposite.
It seems it can be a double-edged sword, yeah. Which maybe makes you wonder about communities that faced more pressure.
Okay, yeah. Let's switch gears. India. This is where it gets really interesting, historically speaking. India had this unusual level of tolerance for a long time.
Mm.
Jewish communities could live pretty freely, keep their practices.
Right. And if we look closer, you see two very different stories playing out in India. First, you have the B'nai Israel. They were sometimes called the Saturday oil pressers, because they kept Shabbat. Oh, okay.
They integrated quite well into local life, had their own unique rituals too, like the Melita ceremony. It's a Thanksgiving thing. But then after 1948, with the creation of Israel, many felt drawn by Zionism and maybe also felt a bit vulnerable, as a minority. So large numbers emigrated to Israel.
Makes sense.
But here's the twist: some faced prejudice in Israel. Because of their background, it shows how complex identity can be, even within Judaism.
Wow, that is ironic. Okay, so that's one group. You said there was another distinct path.
Yeah, the Baghdadi Jews. Very different situation. They were often wealthy traders, came later, and their focus, it was really integrating with the British colonial elite.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they adopted English lifestyles, English language, kind of kept separate from local Indian languages and culture, often. So when India became independent in 47 and the whole economic scene changed, their trade networks got disrupted. Most of them didn't go to Israel. They emigrated to Western countries, England, Canada, Australia, places tied to their British connections. So their integration was tied to a specific power structure that then disappeared.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, let's shift again. A story of, well, just incredible resilience. The mountain Jews in the Caucasus, descendants of Babylonian exiles, apparently.
Yeah.
They even have their own language, Judeo-Tat.
Right, a Judeo-Persian dialect. And their story is amazing. Centuries of isolation, intense persecution, different empires, Soviets, you name it.
How did they hold on?
It raises that big question, doesn't it? Survival under fire. They were incredibly strategic, burying Torah scrolls to hide them from Soviet authorities. Really desperate measures sometimes.
Wow.
Or, during World War II, with the Nazis advancing into the Caucasus, some strategically claimed they were a related but non-Jewish ethnic group to avoid extermination.
That's incredibly resourceful. Passing as another group to survive.
Exactly. Ingenuity born of necessity. But even with all that resilience, after the Soviet Union collapsed, the geopolitical instability in the region, it led to a huge wave of migration, mostly to Israel and the U.S.
So looking at these different stories, what's the big takeaway? You've got Kaifeng, where maybe too much acceptance led to fading away, quiet assimilation. Then the mountain Jews, surviving intense pressure through smart adaptation, even deception. It really shows how integration, it's complicated, isn't it? That double-edged sword idea seems pretty spot on.
Absolutely. And these forgotten stories, they really force us to broaden our whole understanding of Jewish identity. It's not static, it's dynamic, it evolves. It's shaped so much by, local interactions, big global events. It highlights incredible human flexibility. and just the sheer perseverance of culture against all sorts of odds.
So listening to this, what stands out to you? For us, it definitely deepens the picture of human adaptation, cultural resilience. And it leaves us thinking, considering these journeys scattered across continents, adapting in such different ways, what actually defines a community? And how much needs to be preserved exactly for a heritage, any heritage, to truly endure, something to mull over?